Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Build That Practice. My name is Dr. Erica Liggins, licensed clinical psychologist and private practice coach. I am so excited to have yet another success story of someone who has used our program to build their own private practice. So, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're located, and the name of your new practice?
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Kayla Shabri. My private practice is called So and Flow Therapy. I live in the Bay Area and I'm a clinical psychologist that specializes in eating disorders and sports psychology. And outside of that, I'm a professional choreographer for NFL and NBA teams.
You've got a full plate, don't you?
Scared.
And we love that because you've literally crafted your career to be exactly what you want it to be. And
Mhm.
that's the beauty of owning your own practice. So, how did you learn about the Build That Practice program?
Yeah, so I learned about it because I was a part of the EPPP program, and I still wanted to work with you, Erica. Some capacity wasn't ready to let go of you yet, and yeah, I think my shared goals that I always talked about was private practice, and so I was excited to hear that you have like a business coaching program.
Yes, it was a natural progression. You did the Crush That Exam program, passed your test, and as part of the alumni program of that, you just folded right on into the Build That Practice program. And literally, as we're sitting here, it is a little like 10 days shy of when you passed the exam last year. So it really just goes to show how much our life can change in a year once we pass the test and get ourselves fully licensed. So this is fantastic. So, what made you decide that you wanted to be an entrepreneur and work for yourself?
Yeah, I think just having control of my own schedule, for one. I think for me specifically, I travel a lot when I'm teaching dance teams, and I just wanted to have more flexibility to do that. And also just to be able to specifically focus on individual therapy. I've been working in community mental health for IOP and PHP programs a lot, and I tend to wear like 5 or 6 different hats over there. And so it's nice to just want to focus on kind of one thing for therapy.
Oh, beautiful. And it's been so interesting to see how much your other passion of dance and choreography and empowering people through movement and body positivity and all the good stuff you're doing over there has really flourished even more now that you've started your own private practice. Because let's face it, you don't have to work as many hours to make a good living for yourself. And that just frees up your time to explore other passion projects.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I feel like I'm able to even like be more creative on social media with my content and doing more private lessons during the week. Whereas like when I was at my 9 to 5, I couldn't really do that. And I was kind of doing privates or choreographing before and after work. And it's a lot. So yeah.
Yes, it can be a lot balancing the traditional 9 to 5 with private practice. And so going full time really just opens up your whole world. But I do want to say for anyone who's watching, because some people may still have, really strong passion to work, for example, in community mental health and hospital settings. And so people should also know that private practice doesn't necessarily have to be full time. You can have a little something on the side, right? Maybe you see a handful of clients on the weekend just to make a little extra money on the side. Maybe that's your travel money, or that's we want to buy a house one day, and everything I make from that is just going to go toward a down payment. And so, private practice is just such a gift, and there's so many different ways that you can make it work for yourself.
Mhm.
And it's great. And I know from my own experience, when I left working for other people, that allowed me to be able to grow the coaching side of my business and be able to help more and more people. And I can't imagine where it would be today. Well, I can tell you it wouldn't be where it is right now if I was still working under someone else full time. So it just opens up a world of possibilities. So before you decided to start the practice, was there anything you were nervous about with starting your own private practice?
Yeah, I feel like just everything being on me. Like
Right?
talk to or consult with. I feel like I was just nervous about that piece. And especially even like working as like a manager in community mental health, a lot of the times I would say like, oh, it's the company's policy for this, and this. Like, so now it's like I have to reinforce that. There's no one else.
Yes, you are the company policy now. Right. And what does that feel like to have to be the person, right? Because as empaths, as helpers, we're so good at giving, but now you're a business owner and you do have to follow the line, right? And so what has that been like to grow into that role?
Yeah, I feel like it was an adjustment at first. But then I really like sat down and reflected on like, what do I want my private practice to be like to keep it just very efficient, really focus on client care and best practices. And so once I became rooted in my like foundational principles for my business and just me personally and professionally, I feel like I had to really sit down and think about it. And then I felt better kind of advocating about it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, you're just growing into it really nicely. And I think that passing the test also, I think it did something for your confidence as well. It just boosted you up and set the plane, like the the groundwork for you to continue growing into yourself in that professional role.
Yeah, I think that, when I was nervous about just all the ethics and everything being on me, I was able to reflect and say, well, I did just take the licensing exam, the law and ethics one. I studied so hard for that. I know everything under the sun with that. And yeah, I just think the EPPP like really did boost my confidence and I think my confidence to be able to apply certain knowledge from the EPPP. I see the transfer over and it's very helpful and the studying is worth it.
Yes, absolutely. It all comes together. It's not just about passing a stupid test that we have to take. It really is about building character and reacquainting you with different skills and knowledge to be ready for the next level professionally. So, what made you want to do the Build That Practice program in particular? Because you could have just gone out there and tried to figure out how to do this yourself, or you could have gone somewhere else.
Yeah, well, I love you, first of all. Yeah, like we vibe. And feel like we built a connection from each of P and things like that. And so I feel like you were my support system in my corner, and I wanted to continue that. That was one thing. And then I feel like a lot of people just don't talk about private practice and the next steps. Like you and I know, like even setting myself up like for the corporation and the like all of that. I just had no idea what I was doing, despite the research that I was doing. And I feel like I really just needed someone to help walk me through it so that way I didn't feel alone.
Absolutely. Isn't it just amazing how much we were just thrown out here?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you graduate and it's like the Wild Wild West out here, and only the brave and strong make it through. So that's why we've got to make sure we have help and support and somebody to really guide you through. Which leads to my next question, like, what was the most helpful things with going through the Build That Practice program and our sessions that we had that ultimately helped you to get yourself set up and set up the right way?
Yeah. Set up the right way. Yeah, I feel like there's just so many different things that I didn't even think about. I feel like for me, it was like, oh, I gotta set myself up as a corporation. But then it's like I didn't know the little things like setting my email up or EIN number or just like all these little things, an accountant that I just really felt like it was helpful for you to tell me that because I think I would have missed those steps.
Absolutely. And there's so much that goes on and that people do that is really incorrect.
Yeah.
And we can be very much guided in the wrong direction. And, one of the things that's really important to me is that I like to set things up the first time right so I don't have to do it again later. I don't like to work double. And so, every state is different and the rules and everything. And so we really made sure that we followed the rules with you and we set it up. You are in compliance. You've done things properly. And so you don't have to worry about later on having any type of issues.
Mhm. Yeah, so I feel like that made me confident too, that we worked together to make sure I was set up. Because all my friends were saying, you got to do this, this, and this. But we all had different degrees. And so it was just helpful that you walked along with me for that journey.
Yes, and we did a deep dive, did the research, and we did it right, which is so important. So, what would you tell someone who maybe they've just passed the test or they've been working, fully licensed for some time and they're like itching to want to get out there and start their own practice? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say to, yeah, just explore, maybe even chatting with people on what their private practice experience is like. Like that's what I did. Yeah, just seeing what people's day to day is like who are in private practice. Obviously, chatting with you is helpful. But yeah, and also just being open, reflecting on what your life could look like if you did private practice. For me, I started out just doing weekends. I just did a Saturday just to kind of dip my toe in and see how I can balance it. And I feel like I really enjoyed it and it brought like a spark to my life. And so, yeah, just don't be afraid to just try it. You can start out small with one day and just kind of see how it is and expand from there.
Absolutely. We don't have to jump 2 feet in. It can be a little side thing, a little side hustle, and we can build up from there. And I think what was really cool about your story too is that you really sat down and reflected. You did some crunching of some numbers. You really looked at your time. And so you didn't just jump from doing it part-time into full-time. I mean, it was a very calculated. I mean, you crunched those numbers and you figured it out. And not even just about the financial piece, it was also about your time and how can this free me up to do other things as well. And so to each his own, and they can make this work however they want it to for themselves and their families. So that brings me to my last question, which is where are we going? What's next? I mean, I feel like you've taken off like a rocket once you fully jumped in, but tell us about some of your dreams, both professionally, now that you are fully working for yourself, as well as personally. What new fun adventures are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so right now I'm really enjoying, like, I'll do maybe some private dance lessons, maybe for 2 hours during the day, and then I'll have like 3 hours worth of therapy clients. And so I'm really enjoying kind of doing both. It just keeps me excited, and I get to like move my body in between throughout my day. So I want to keep that up. Yeah, continuing to grow my private practice. I'm over halfway full it's only been a month, which is exciting.
Yes.
Yes, I want to continue to grow that, but I also eventually want to have postdoc students in my private practice because I really do enjoy supervising
Mhm.
students. So I want to do that and kind of have some employees under me. I want to be able to go to teams as, so and flow to do sports psychology work. And yeah, just continue to choreograph. I'm choreographing for some NFL teams this upcoming season. So yeah, just continuing to do that.
I know you're going to do all that and more. I'm excited. I'm over here cheering on the sidelines, just watching all of this unfold. Any big travel plans that we might embark on? I know you love to travel now that you have more free time.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, I mean, I'll probably go to Japan again. I just came back from Japan to teach in January, so I'll probably go to Japan again to teach. And yeah, it'll be nice to just be able to freely explore and stay however long I would like.
Oh my God. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, we are just so happy for you. This is amazing. It, ah, when we first met and you were in the EPPP journey, just to see you like literally just glowing like this, and I feel like you have stepped back into your glory and you are just moving forward, and it's really exciting to see. So, congratulations to you and to all of your success.
Thank you.